Henry Lyles, he was pulling up some Aaron Rodgers RELAX talk earlier. It was good. I forgot to bring it up, Henry. My bad. But he says, we're live, boys. It's Cuse week. I'm hoping for 45 to 10. What do you guys think has to happen this week to quell all these nitpicky issues from the fans against the offense and defense?
Number one, I think that's a vocal minority. I don't think most fans are nitpicking. I also think it's the age we live in. There's so much media that we produce that gives people the chance to comment, and people want to comment. It's something to talk about. You don't want to just sit there and be like, "Isn't this fun?" all the time? Like, isn't this fun to be 5-0? You do want to talk about the team and what has to get better. So I do understand that. I don't know. Some of it's nitpicky, some of it's genuine concern, some of it's just let's talk about something. I would say the answer to that is score in the 50s. 45 would be good too. But if you can score in the 50s, if you can, get another pass catcher involved and run all over Syracuse again, like you did last year, which is a big if, but if you can do that, I think that would be, I just think most of the nitpicky for now is with the offense.
Yeah.
Because I think most people look at that defense that just gave up 10 points last week and gave up 7 points to Clemson in the second half and are just like, yeah, this is pretty good to good defense, which is what we were expecting. The offense, you'd like to look, the numbers are there, the points are there. I get it. And I've been espousing that all week, but you would like a little more, you just don't want to have dry, empty quarters. You want to be a little more consistent, maybe for 4 quarters. I think that's what people would want to see.
We'll go to Jim. What have you guys been saying about the mid-game dead spots that have allowed teams to get back into the game? We have not really discussed that too much, Jim. I was more focused personally on getting out the gates with a good start because we had not done that on both sides of the ball until Saturday. But you're right, there are lulls. What do you make of it?
Well, I think that they're all unique. There have been lulls in every game, and they're very frustrating. It's why it leaves us wanting, if you will. But I will say, Jim, this last game was a lot more about the bullshit you saw from ACC officials. And I never bring this up, so I don't want anybody to say I'm whining, but that was insane last Saturday. If you do not call the roughing the passer penalty on Byron Turner, and it's not roughing the passer in any world, it's not. And he calls that because the kid gets drilled legally, I might add, and that is an amazing interception along the sidelines. At that point, it's 22-0. Florida State has the ball in great field position. I think they go down and score, and it's going to be 29-0, and Virginia Tech's going to roll over, and there is no roll. There's no lull. Instead, it keeps a drive alive that never should have existed to begin with. There's a few other very fortunate calls that go their way in that moment. There's a missed interference on Ja'Kai deep. That would have also been another drive that Florida State scores on, and we're not talking about lulls. I think their first chance to really run it up on somebody was last Saturday, and then there's a series of just dumbfounding calls from officials that allow Virginia Tech more than anything to possess the football. Sure, they score, but they possess the ball forever in that quarter, and then you get the opening kickoff of the second half taken to the house, and the next thing you know, we're all wringing hands. Now, Florida State responded, pulled away, and dominated the second half. But, man, that really frustrated me. The other stuff was oddly more disconcerting. This game I really do put squarely on the shoulders of the officials as far as not sustaining momentum. But the other games were, as I said, a little bothersome. We had some self-inflicted wounds. We couldn't get lined up right. You had a lot of annoying things happen where I thought we looked discombobulated. Mike had this forlorn, faraway look on his face in the Boston College game.
Yep.
Jordan looked hurt in some other games. There's just been moments where you're kind of like, they're just not right. But this game was not that. This game was on the zebras.
Yeah, I think it's all different. LSU starts slow. The second half's amazing. Southern Miss is overmatched. I didn't like the process of it, but they were overmatched, so it didn't matter. Boston College, Norvell says they check out. He says it, his words, that they lost their edge. And so that tells you.
I don't buy that. That's nonsense. They didn't lose their edge.
Well, if it's true, then it's ridiculous too.
I don't think they lost their edge. That was not Adam Fuller's best day. Jordan was hurt after that play in which he gets, he lands awkwardly.
Yeah.
That offensive line's not good enough to just line up and run the ball conventionally. And as soon as Jordan couldn't run, Boston College kind of had a sense what was coming. And it was very limited. And I could see that look. I also think they were sick as a dog, and half the team was ill. And so the reserve wasn't there. The energy wasn't there. That's not losing your edge. That's I'm sick as hell and I can't run anymore.
Yeah, the thing I'd say about the Clemson game is the second quarter you come alive, and then you score your third offensive score in regulation started out the second half. Did you stall because of an illegal formation? Yeah, that really is that'll anger you. Mm-hmm. But the 17 points you scored was in the middle of the game. So I think it's been a mixed bag.
Patrick, thank you so much. Those are kind words, and your contribution is greatly appreciated. I love the show. Thank you for everything, guys. Quick question. Do you think the defensive line will take another step forward in 2024? No. No, I don't.
It's possible. It's possible.
Well, I know what you're going to say, that Darrell Jackson stays.
I'm going to remove Patrick's comment and show you how it's possible. There it is. There it is.
The battle's end.
Yeah, they're going to need it. You're going to need it.
Okay, so let me tell you. That is true. And that is true for a lot of reasons. There are always programs. I'll give you an example. And I know that the people listening now understand that the Battle's End is a sponsor of this show. Mm-hmm. And they know I'm good friends and have been. They didn't know, but I've been good friends with Ingram for years.
They know now.
They do know now. Yeah, it was always our dirty little secret is that we got along swimmingly. And anyhow, so you guys are going to think that I'm basically taking a page out of what I already know to be true. But that's not the case, at least not in this example. There are programs that will always present opportunities, meaning programs that have it go south for whatever reason, right? All around the country. I remember a year ago, to give you an example, when Illinois was kind of struggling towards the back end of the year, Corey used to jump up and down and say, well, there's 2 defensive linemen in Illinois, and they're both from Florida. Mm-hmm. Go get those kids. They're tired of losing games up there. Go grab them, bring them home. We fixed the program. Go grab those guys. And that's true again this year. If you look around at some of the programs that have not met expectations, a good one that when we talk about turmoil and kids maybe running for the exits, we just did it with Northwestern and we got a linebacker because of it. And Michigan State is in shambles. They're firing Mel Tucker. He's suing the school. There's a couple of kids there that are from Florida or the Southeast at the very least. I went and looked it up when the whole Mel Tucker thing was going down, Tom. I went and looked it up and said, do they have, because they always have a good defensive lineman or two.
Yeah.
And I went and looked it up and they do. Now, I don't know if we're going to target those kids, but those are opportunities. And we did it with Braden Fisk. I'm not saying because of, where he's from, just the opportunity presented itself. There's a good defensive lineman out there. Go grab him. So they may have to do it because I don't think there's a guy coming down the pike that's on the roster right now that would see this group take a huge step forward, to Patrick's question. Next year. I think they're guys that could be moderately successful, but not dominant. And then I would tell you from there, you would have to find somebody else. Now you're recruiting your ass off right now, an important 5-star kid, and you're looking at a couple of other guys. But I think they're going to have to get another couple of guys in here, some real dudes, and they have to hope maybe. And they may be hoping against hope here, but. What if Darrell Jackson decides, whatever postseason games I get in, if we get that far, are not enough for me to make the impact I need to make to get to the NFL's first round, I'll come back next year and dominate and get a chance to go in the first round. If that happens, then yes, the answer is yes, you have a chance.
Yes, which again leads me to the bottom third of the screen. I think the priorities for this defensive line to be able to take a step forward are clear. It's the guy you just mentioned. It's can you keep Josh Farmer on campus another year because he's having a breakout season.
He's been awesome. He's been awesome.
Fantastic. Patrick Payton has to be a top priority. He might be the top priority because I don't know how much you have at defensive end that you like. You're going to have to hit the open market if he leaves. You've got a couple of young players that are turning heads. KJ Sampson, Keith Sampson has had a good start to his career. Ayo Tafasi's a bit of an enigma right now. Daniel Lyons, I still believe, is a very good player. and he's only going to get a year stronger in this program. So you've got some guys that can help you reduce the blow. But if you're trying to take a step forward, there's two things that got to happen: retention, and then you got to go grab a badass or two, I think, out of the portal, which is, you don't want to have to do that every year. But if you're trying to if 2024 is what you're talking about, not 2025, that's your path to it.
B-Rad writes, Jeff, on a scale of not at all to I hope they fall off the face of the earth, how much do you hate Miami? Oh, that's from yesterday. Yeah, I'm not a Miami fan, guys, if you couldn't tell. I've made that abundantly clear for the 25 years I've been doing radio.
Would you have rather seen that happen to Miami or Dabo?
Miami. Always Miami.
Yeah.
Would
Always
have
Miami.
been pretty funny to see.
It would have been funny to have it happen to Dabo,
But you know what?
we beat them head to head.
But also, Dabo's used to winning games, and he's taken a few knees in his. You know what I mean? He knows the
He's
victory
familiar with the
formation. He's
process.
familiar with the victory formation.
Yeah. No, I think it was reintroduced to a segment of our audience or people who listened to the JCS yesterday, just the level of vitriol I feel for Miami. Because I was surprised by some of the pushback.
And they haven't been relevant in 20 years, so there hasn't been a lot of animosity from most Florida State fans. But you're never letting that go.
Never. Yeah. Eternally, they can go to hell. I said it before.